I wonder how many people in Second Life are going to be still in their parents' basement after their parents are dead. All right, let's bring up tonight. Unfortunately, Roger 990 can't come up. Randy, did you really want to come up or not tonight? Do you want to do something? Randy? Randy always? No, he looks like he's falling apart. So let's bring up Why Not?
Yay!
Why not?
Oh.
Come on, why not?
Goodness. Oh my God.
Why not? Yeah.
Well, let's escape here. Get out of this.
Why not?
For those of you who, yeah, come on up. Why not?
I even actually found the stairs this time. I don't want to divulge too much about my private life all at once, or I won't have any friends left on Second Life. So I'm going to do a little at a time. You already know I have a brother who's a lawyer, so I already got one reason you hate me. And then I have a sister with the IRS, so there's two reasons you hate me. And so now I'm going to tell you a few more. I had a catharsis a few years back when my dad was in his 70s. He's in his 80s now. And it was a phone call asking me to come up to Virginia to help him bury some electrical wire. And I said, sure. So I arrive about 10 in the morning. It's 95 degrees, 90% humidity. And at the corner of his house, he's got 2 mattocks and 2 shovels. I'm looking at it going, what the where are we going with this wire? You know, it's electrical wire. It's heavy. It's huge. And he goes, down to that building. It's like 150 yards down his yard. And I'm like, Dad, are you freaking crazy? You're 70, whatever he was. And I'm like, he goes, oh, it's real soft. Look. And he takes the mattock and whacks in the dirt. And yeah, it's wet. We get out 3 feet. It's cement. And I said, Dad, you're beet red. I'm beet red. It's 95 degrees. Why don't we go rent a freaking rototiller or a ditch witch? He goes, rototiller? Rototiller? Why, I just put one together. It's in the building down there that we're going to. I said, what the fuck are we doing this shit for then? And, of course, we did get the rototiller, and we had that ditch dug in no time, and it took 3 more hours to lay that wire. But I realized after that, my catharsis was that my husband was like my father, even though I never thought they were the same. And what it is they don't think. They don't prep. When I do a job, I want to prep. Like if I'm going to paint a room, I want my brushes, my zip bags to put the brushes in to keep them damp, the drop cloth, the water, the rags, the ladder, the knee pads, screwdriver, everything I need, get it all together. You know, I used to walk 5 miles at the park every day, but I don't need to anymore because my husband has projects, one after the other. And every time I say, do we have everything we need? Yeah, I think so. No. I get more than 5 miles a day every time walking back and forth to the outbuilding, getting the shit. And plus I spend hours out there looking for it because I don't know where anything is, and neither does he. One time, he decided we were going to put a fan on the back deck. We had this roof we put out there, so Keith says, oh, let's put a ceiling fan out there. Okay, great. It's all vinyled in already, so we got to cut a hole in the vinyl. We're putting up this fan, but he couldn't see. So I said, let me go get a flashlight. I'll be right back. No, wait, I got my cell phone. It's got a flashlight on it. I go, oh, great. And it worked great. It was bright, brighter than the flashlight, probably. We had to redo it 2 to 3 times to get it right. And finally, everything was fit. Everything's sealed up. We're sweating profusely. I go to get us a cold drink. I sit down, and he goes, where's my cell phone? It's in the fucking ceiling. Yeah, we had to rip the whole thing back out. 2 more hours. We got our cold drink. 2 hours later. So one day,
Rocket science.
you know, this is we don't fight over money. We fight over a bullshit like doing these projects. One day I'm looking off the deck and I'm watching this male and female cardinal tumbling around on the ground. This was an act I always thought was the throes of lustful mating in the spring, but I realized it wasn't at all. All of a sudden I could literally hear the female screaming, Howard, you fucked up. I told you to get all your shit together. The sticks, the twigs, the string, the feathers. Before you start building, the whole fucking frame fell in. Now I'm going to lay the eggs on the ground. I was like, oh, yeah. That's me out there, that damn bird. And did you ever think about what if humans did imitate other creatures in the natural world? Like if all the men were the bright, pretty colors to distract the predators. And you could see Catboy and Lauren out on their front decks there in their colorful frilly garb, lipstick, mascara, strutting, posing, screeching on the floor, guarding their homes and nests. Or rutting season. You could go to Walmart parking lot and see two men knocking their heads together, rutting. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then you ever wonder what degree mass media affects our psyches? Like, remember Mr. Bill cartoons? You're gonna be really mean to me. Oh no. And then there was a violent torturous act or something right after that. Well, some of us see those things for what they really are, sick, silly humor. But other people adopt it as a lifestyle. And my little brother, Kurt, he was maybe 16 years old. My stepdad was a carpet person. And Kurt was helping Chris do a new complex. And he was given instructions, but he disappeared. So Chris is out looking for Kurt, looking all over, trudging around the complex. And as he's approaching one building, he hears, "Oh no, get away. Don't go there. No, you're going to be mean to me." And then he'd hear, "Brrr." So he sneaked in, following all that voice, and it kept repeating the same lines over and over again. Brrr, the motor sound. And there he sees Kurt. He's got a bucket of frogs that he's collected. He's got one in his hand, and he's slapping it on the counter, getting closer and closer to the sink, and tossing the poor amphibian into the garbage disposal. I told you no! Yeah. And this propensity for violence endured throughout all the years. Matter of fact, Kurt always liked to blow up things. He liked to detonate homemade bombs. He collects guns. He's just a nut. So he's always been kind of the black sheep of the family. And my lawyer brother I told you about, I thought, I'm going to do a good trick on him. I'd been on the internet maybe 5 years, and Kurt had called and asked for money multiple times from people, and I thought, I'm going to trick Kenny. And I called him, and I said, Kenny, has Kurt called you for borrowing any money lately? And he said, no, why? And I said, well, I don't know. He's got some friend that's in a lot of trouble. And Kenny's like, what are you talking about? I said, well, all I know is his name's McVeigh. And he goes, what? Whoa. McVeigh? What are you talking about? I said, yeah, Tim McVeigh. And he goes, do you know who Tim McVeigh is? I said, no, I don't know. I haven't been on the damn news in years. I've been on the internet. I don't watch the news. He goes, that's the freaking Unabomber. It's the Unabomber. I said, are you kidding me? I don't know what the new Unabomber is. And he goes, are you kidding me? I said, no. He goes, oh my God. And I go, ha, gotcha. And he actually believed it. He was so mad at me. He said, God damn you. I actually believed it. My family's crazy. My family is very crazy. Okay. Anyway, I'm not going to tell you all about my family. Martin Levine was the owner of a movie theater chain in New York City, and he passed away at age 65. His obituary said, the funeral will be held on Thursday at 2:10, 4:20, 6:30, 8:40, and 10:50. This young man called the directory assistance. He goes, operator, I'd like the telephone number for Mary Jones in Phoenix, Arizona. There are multiple listings for Mary Jones in Phoenix. Do you have a street name? The young man hesitated and goes, well, most people call me Iceman. After a long career of being blasted into a net, the human cannonball was tired. He told the circus owner he was quitting. He's going to retire. You can't! Where am I going to find another man of your caliber? Did you hear about the weekly poker game with Vasco da Gama? Chris Columbus, no. Leif Erikson, and Francisco Pizarro? Well, they can never seem to beat the Straits of Magellan. 6 guys are playing poker, and after losing 500 on one hand, Smith clutches his chest. He topples over dead. at the table. Well, to decide who's going to tell his wife, his buddies draw straws. Anderson gets the short one. Just tell her gently, break it to her gently. Hey, don't worry, he says. And when the wife comes to the door, Anderson says, your husband just lost $500 playing cards. What? How much? Tell him to drop dead, she said with her eyes blazing.
I have good news for you.
Two blondes go for a walk in the forest. Now, we wouldn't think of perpetuating the stereotype, and we resent the fact that blonde women are thought less intelligent than anyone else, and so did these two. So they're walking, discussing life, nature, both amateur wildlife enthusiasts. They come across some tracks. Oh, they're moose tracks. No, you're close, but they're actually elk. I lived in the forest with my grandfather. He taught me a lot about wildlife. They are moose. So they argue back and forth, and then a train runs over them.
Oh.
Psychology instructor had just finished a lecture on mental health and was given an oral test. Speaking specifically about manic depression, she said, how would you diagnose a patient who walked back and forth screaming at the top of his lungs 1 minute and then sits down in a chair weeping uncontrollably the next? A young man in the rear said, a basketball coach? Man walks in a therapist's office looking really depressed. Doc, you got to help me. I can't go on like this. Well, what's the problem? The doctor asked. I'm 35. I have no luck with the ladies. No matter how hard I try, I scare them away. Oh, that's not a serious problem. You just need to work on your self-esteem. Each morning, I want you to get up, run to the bathroom mirror, tell yourself you're a great person, a fun person, an attractive person. Say it with conviction, and in a week, you'll have women buzzing around you. And the man was happy with the advice. He walked out, and he came back with a downtrodden expression several weeks later. Didn't my advice work? Well, it worked all right for the past several weeks. I've enjoyed some of the best moments of my life with some of the most fantastic looking women. Well, so what's wrong? The doctor asks. Well, I don't have a problem. My wife does, the man says.
Okay. Okay.
Oh.
A doctor of psychology is doing his normal morning rounds, and he enters a patient's room. He found patient 1 sitting on the floor pretending to saw a piece of wood. 2 was hanging from the ceiling by his feet. The doctor asked the first patient what he's doing, and the patient said, can't you see I'm sawing this piece of wood in half? And the doctor inquired of patient 1 what patient 2 was doing. Patient 1 says, well, he's my friend. He's a little crazy, though. He thinks he's a light bulb. And the doctor looks up, and he notices patient's 2 faces going all red. He asks patient 1, if he's your friend, you should get him down from there before he hurts himself. Patient 1 says, what? Work in the dark? If you're paranoid delusional, we know who you are and what you want. Just stay on the line so we can trace the call. If you're schizophrenic, listen carefully and a little voice will tell you which number to press. If you're a manic depressive, it doesn't matter which number you press. No one's going to answer. If you're anxious, just start pressing numbers at random. If you're phobic, don't press anything. If you're anal retentive, please hold.
Oh.
This man is strolling past the mental hospital and suddenly he remembers an important meeting, and unfortunately his watch quit. He can't tell if he's late or not, so he sees this patient strolling inside the hospital fence. He says, hey, do you have the time? The patient goes, wait a minute. He throws himself on the ground. He pulls out a short stick. He pushes it in the ground. He pulls out a level. He assures himself the stick's vertical. With a compass, he locates north. With a steel ruler, he measures the length of the shadow cast by the stick. He takes the slide rule from his pocket. He calculates rapidly, and he packs up all his tools, goes back and says, it's 3:29 p.m. provided today's August 16th. And I believe it is. The man is impressed, and he sets his watch. But before he leaves, he says, that was really remarkable. How do you, on a cloudy day or at night, when the stick doesn't cast a shadow, what do you do? The patient holds his wrist up and goes, I just look at my watch. Gloria the blonde once heard milk baths would make you gorgeous, so she left a note for the milkman to leave 15 gallons. And when he read the note, he thought it was a mistake. He thought she meant 1.5 or whatever. So he knocked on the door, and she came, and he goes, I found your note about 15 gallons. You mean 15 or 1.5? She goes, 15. I'm going to fill my tub up and take a milk bath. Oh, he says, all right. Well, would you like it pasteurized? She said, no, just up to my waist.
Oh.
How do you sink a submarine full of blondes? Knock on the door. Why does a blonde only change your baby's diapers every month? The instructions say get up for 20 pounds.
Oh.
What do you call a blonde in an institution of higher learning? A visitor.
Okay.
What do you call a smart blonde? A golden retriever.
Oh.
Ah, this woman's in the psychiatrist's office. What seems to be the problem? The doctor asked. I think I might be a nymphomaniac. I see, he said. I can help you, but I gotta advise you my fee's $80 an hour. Oh, that's not bad. How much for all night? This blind man walks in a store with his seeing eye dog. All of a sudden, he picks up the leash and starts swinging that dog over his head. The manager goes, what are you doing? The blind man says, I'm just looking around. This man goes in a bar with his dog, and he goes up to the bar and asks for a drink. The bartender says, you can't bring that dog in here. And the guy, without missing a beat, goes, this is my CNI dog. Oh, man, I'm sorry. Here, the first one's on me. So he takes the drink, and he goes to a table nearby. So this other guy comes walking in with a chihuahua. And the first guy sees him, stops him, and says, you can't bring that dog in here unless you tell him it's a seeing eye dog. So the second man graciously thanks the first man, and he continues to the bar. He asks for a drink, and the bartender says, you can't bring that dog here. Guy goes, this is my seeing eye dog. The bartender goes, oh, I don't think so. They don't have chihuahuas as seeing eye dogs. And that man pauses just a half second, and he goes, what? They gave me a chihuahua? All right, we're on to the next comedian. Escaping.
No, I'll take care of it.
Stage.
I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. That's my job. That's your job in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks from now, Why Not is going to MC.